Welcome, welcome everybody to the book club. This is Underworld Crime 3, which was Alan's pick. We got a last book member coming in. What's up,
Ah,
D?
here too.
Hi,
Cool.
D.
All right.
Take her away. Take her away, Big Alan.
Okay, so I just got back from Toronto. I got back a few hours ago, but while I was in Toronto, I got a book. I got a book there while I was there, and it's this one. So I just picked this up today, or yesterday, actually.
Very cool.
Isn't
Convenient.
that cool? Very convenient, right? So yeah, this is Underworld Crime number 3. It is a group of true crime stories with these are real crime stories that actually happened. I think what they do is they go back in terms of history and try to find ones that are like the most heinous or the the most egregious ones that they can think of, and they try to show a variety of crime types, like from extortion to murder to just like fraud. So they try to show all the different types of crime, and usually like the way the stories are written is you got like a big build up in terms of like explaining the criminals past and their crime sprees and all that kind of stuff, and a very quick every time a pretty quick conclusion. Either the cops shoot them at the end, or or they get caught, or whatever. They usually very quick endings to each crime story, so very quick wrap ups, and they don't really show the police side that much. It's more on the criminal side. One story kind of looked at the police side a bit more, but for the most part, it's just looking at the criminal side. So I'm going to get into the stories. I'm going to share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Never. You're not allowed.
Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Share my screen. And okay,
So what's wrong?
So I'm
Everything
trying
okay?
to share my screen.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just do this. So this is the cover. D will be happy because this cover is of one of the stories in the book. This is the very first story is actually this one that they're showing on the cover, where you see you can't save her kid now. Now you can't save her now, kid. Please don't push me in. I can't swim. So that's the very first story, actually. Let's get right into it, where we see this group of criminals. And basically what they're doing is there's a pier, and anyone that goes on the pier, basically they murder and steal their money. Even if they only have pocket change, they will just randomly kill people. And this gang of people are just murdering people. This one boy witnesses it, and they were going to kill the boy, but they decide, hey, maybe we can use this boy. Maybe because like their action on the pier is getting a little bit weak. Like there's not enough people coming. I'll just sort of skip through a bit. So they decide to use the boy to basically, make it look, oh, if a boy's there, he's selling newspapers. Oh, it must be a safe place to go, and we can, basically get more people to come, and we can murder them all and steal their money. That's their plan. It's not a great plan, but it's their plan. And you can see there's like women getting walked. It's like, typical crime stuff. They want to show criminals for being thugs and ruthless and, just despicable people. That's kind of one of the things that they're trying to showcase here. Okay, so undercover cops are heading to the pier, and their goal is to potentially get mugged so that they can prove or find the criminals who are responsible for the instances that are happening at the pier. So they force this boy to, as I said, sell newspapers, and the police actually come up to the boy to buy a newspaper, pretend, and he's like, oh, you guys shouldn't come here. You're going to get mugged. Just go away. And then the guys are like, oh, don't worry. This is exactly what we're looking for. So basically, they whistle, and then there's a boat that was docked along the pier, and that had a whole bunch of cops in it, and they basically have a shootout with the criminals. Shooting in the back doesn't matter. This is the 40s, guys, or 50s. They didn't care about that. Just shoot them. You know, if they're running away, shoot them. So it's not like nowadays. So yeah. So and then the boy is given like a little thing, a badge to say, "Hey, good job." And that's a typical story. And they always like to end with something where criminals can't win, or crime does not pay, or some sort of catchphrase. So that's a typical kind of story for these crime stories for the Golden Age. This is so typical. Okay. Then we have some ads. Then we have the next story. I'm just going to go through the stories pretty quick. I'm going to focus on one story in particular because it's considered to be the most heinous of all the stories. This next one is about the Bronx Boys. And basically, it's a bunch of kids that are criminals. And at first, they kind of do petty crime. Typical petty crime. They basically steal some guns. They carve this is a carved pistol, and they basically use that to kind of rob a gun store. And then they do a bunch of petty crimes where they rob other gangsters of all things, which is interesting. And so they figure if they rob other criminals, the criminals can't say, "Oh, cops, we've been robbed." They can't say anything because they're doing crime too. So but this is kind of one of those things where it kind of backfires later on, where they basically decide, hey, robbing these guys, we're getting a little bit of money, but let's go a little bit further. And they decide to kidnap one of the gang members. And that's what's happening here. They kidnap this guy, and they ransom him. He's like a gang member, and they ransom him to the gang to try to get as much money as they can. And that does not go over well with the other criminals. Do pay for the ransom, but it doesn't go over well. So what ends up happening is the other gangsters are like, well, we got to get some revenge here. And they basically shoot up the car that those boys are in. Well, they're not boys by this point. They're a little bit older. And they basically kill all the major guys. And the other guys, the ones that survive, they don't talk. they don't talk any. So basically, the story's a little bit longer one, but what ends up happening is the ones that do survive, they get hit later on and they get killed too. Except one guy gets paralyzed. Yeah. So basically, they just show how criminals. Some of the crime that they do is fraud and extortion, but also they do crime against each other, and that's what this one's about. Like actually, the one of the last members of the gang that's living, they shoot him in the back, and that's why he becomes paralyzed later. But he basically rats them out, and then they say crime never pays. Okay, the next story is the one I really want to focus on. This is actually not this one. This is Ma Winkle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was just like, okay, that's not the main story that I like. Then never mind.
When I scrolled up, I saw it was not the right one. Okay, so this is Ma Wilkins. This is the next story. This one is about a woman who is the queen of the fences, which means that she helps with selling the stolen goods, and she gets really good at it, right? So good at it that she starts as a young girl. She actually helps with the heist. She's a pretty young girl, and she comes from a poor situation, and she works with some criminals to commit a crime. But she's like, even after they steal all the stuff, she's like, well, we got to be able to sell this stuff. So she helps steal jewelry, right? Actually, the J is wrong. That should be the other way, by the way. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
The J is forward. It should be backwards. But other than that, we'll ignore that. But basically, what happens is they steal some jewelry. This is her first real criminal act. But they don't know how to sell it. So she's like, I know how to fence it. And then she makes that her business rather than doing these petty crimes. She helps the criminals fence their stolen goods. And she's really good at it. Anything that they come up with, if they steal bicycles or whatever, she can fence it. Okay, that's her skill. Okay, so she becomes, she becomes older. Wait, I'll just keep on skipping. She has a baby. She marries another criminal guy because they do well together, and they have a baby together. And he actually gets killed by other mobsters, which is awesome. But so she becomes a single mom, and she raises her young daughter. But her daughter never really appreciates. Sorry, skipping a bit. But her daughter never really appreciates her mother. Like she's kind of a spoiled kid, and her mother gives her some of the stolen jewelry to kind of make her feel like, oh, look here, honey, I'm giving you some beautiful jewelry. But when they're at a party together, the woman that they stole the jewelry from, this is like a high class event. Well, she's like, hey, that's my jewelry. and then her daughter actually, with no loyalty to her mom, basically says, oh, my mom stole it. My mom was the one that gave me this. And she basically testifies against her mom. And so the mom, Ma Wilkins, goes to jail for many years, and crime does not pay. Okay, so
Meanwhile, the daughter's still out there.
The daughter's fine. She probably kept the jewels. I don't know. Who knows? No, she didn't keep the jewels. But the point is, yeah, they don't really. She doesn't really appreciate her mom. So yeah, kind of sad. So this next one, this is the main story. This is the key story for this book. There's and this one I'll spend a little bit more time on because it is a really gruesome and cool story. It's actually based on it's totally based on a true story. And I actually, after reading this comic, I actually did some investigation on Wikipedia and other sites where I was kind of verifying a lot of the stuff about it. They misspelled her name though. Her name is not Belle Guinness. It's Belle Gunnis. It's a double N instead of the I-N, by the way. So if you ever want to research this girl, there is stuff out there. She is notorious for the crimes that she committed. Also, the interesting thing about it is they even made a movie about it. So you can actually watch the movie about this story called The House. It came out, I think, in 2012 or somewhere around there. So you can look for that. Okay. So this is the true story of Belle. I'll correct it and say Gunnis. Okay. So it's the widow of death. And if Satan himself was called upon to provide the perfect running mate for the murderous Bluebeard, there would be no better suitable for this position than Belle Gunnis. Okay. The widow of death. Okay. And so one of the first things that they show that she's a psychopath right from the start. Like really young, her parents, her mother's a dancer, a performer, and they give her a cat. Kids love cats, and she puts feathers on the cat, kind of dresses it up. And when her mother goes on stage, the little girl takes the cat and lights it on fire. It's like, one of the things that they've found with a lot of serial killers and psychopaths is their first victims are usually animals. And then they progress to people. So this is very, very realistic in terms of that.
Yeah, and sometimes they just they don't even start at first killing. They start torturing them at first.
That's right. Crazy. Yeah, very true. It's very true. And this, just so you know, the time frame of this is in the late 1800s. okay, to the early turn of the century. Okay, that's when this is all happening.
Yeah, I think she died in 1908.
Yeah,
That's when they caught her and her house burned down.
yeah. We'll get there.
You're not the only one who did the research.
Yeah. So, and another thing, so she really progressed quickly. She saw like a baby stroller with a baby in it, and her mom's like, "Oh, just hang out here." And then she rolls the baby stroller down the hill. It's like they didn't say what happens to the baby, but it probably wasn't good for the baby. And I think she poisoned her father. They kind of hint that the father died mysteriously because she was kind of known for poisoning people or giving them something to drink that had poison or sleeping aids in it. They didn't say it specifically, and I couldn't confirm it in the research, but they kind of hint at it that she might have murdered her father. So her and her mother go to America, and she becomes a dancer with her mother. She becomes a performer. She's like really young. I think 15 or 16. Yeah. And only 15. Yeah. And a guy says, "Hey, you're so beautiful. Will you marry me?" He's like, and she's like, "Sure." She's like, "Sure." Which is interesting. So, she says that she really likes men at that time. And basically, right off the bat, her mind, her criminal mind is that I'm going to marry this guy. I'm going to take him for everything he's got. So the first thing she does is, right after they get married, let's get fire insurance for the house and life insurance for you. Just, she's ready. First thing she does, burn down the house. Oops, there's a fire. And then the way she, and then, then she basically murders her husband. I think she gets like arsenic. She, for killing rats. She gives that to her husband, and sadly, her husband dies. So she's like really not wasting any time. Oh, and in the between those 2 points, she buys a house in the country, basically. Nice big house in the country. And so she wants to pretend to be like a legitimate woman. She's, she just killed her first husband. And so what she does is she adopts 2 children. So the goal is to kind of make herself look like, oh, a poor single mom. Okay. And that makes her seem very unassuming. Okay. Very important that she does that. So she gets these very young orphans. And then I kind of clicked too hard there. Okay. One sec here. I want to go back one page. Okay. I thought this was kind of one of the more funny, one of the more funny murders in a way. It sounds horrible. But what happened was, so the very first guy that she marries after her first husband is, he's a good, nice guy and all this kind of stuff. And of course, she gets life insurance on him. And the way she murders him is she takes a meat cleaver and whacks him in the head. Okay. And this is pretty, this is so
Lizzie Borden style.
Yeah, this is very pre-code comics, right? And the funny thing is, what she says is the meat cleaver was on the wall and it accidentally fell on his head. And the coroner's like, there's no way that would work. This is not likely to happen. Physics does not agree with you. But because she's a woman, and this is like this is the same thing that happened with Lizzie Borden. People couldn't believe a woman could do those things. So everyone was like, no, there's no way she could have done that. So therefore, nothing happened to her. She, they basically didn't arrest her and she was fine. Okay. So then she basically decides to build a smokehouse next to her house. Okay. And her smokehouse is like a very useful thing that she'll use later. So she still has those 2 young orphans. And then she decides her next thing after murdering husband number 2 now, is she puts an ad in the newspaper. And the ad basically says that she's a young, pretty girl looking for a man of means. And that's a key thing, man of means, to marry. She wants to, and, guys are desperate. Guys are fun that way. And basically, every time the men come, she says, oh, you got to prove that you have the means. And then she'll take them into the house and kill them. So, like with an axe or poison or whatever. And then she, buries them in the backyard. She has a nice little cemetery forming in her backyard. And then she'll keep whatever money that they had on them. So she does this man after man, a few thousand here, a few thousand there. And, she loves using the meat cleaver. That's one of her things. What she'll do is, to be nice, I guess, she will give them some kind of sleep aid, and then she'll hack them with the meat cleaver. And then she'll take them to the smokehouse, the body to the smokehouse. Now, this is kind of a cool thing. I'll read it. By 1905, more than 20 men were murdered by Belle Gunness, and laid to rest in the little cemetery behind the farm until one day. Okay, so there was a man named Ray Gardner, and he basically was her hired hand. Okay, he wasn't aware of the murders, but he became aware when he sort of explored the smokehouse. When he went into the smokehouse, he realized that there was human bones there. And he basically was like, hey, what's going on here? And they realized that obviously she's murdering people. But he was, he was actually kind of scared that she would murder him too if, he released the information. And basically, so the next man that came, he actually kind of like didn't do much about it. He sort of witnessed her murdering this other man. He probably could have stepped in and stopped it before, but he, in a way, I think he needed proof. I don't know why he waited, but he did wait. And he watched her murder another man. And once he realized that she was truly a murderer, he basically decided, hey, and then she saw him, like, she was, I think, just a wimp or afraid of her or something, but he actually helped chop up the guy's body in the smokehouse. Okay,
yeah, I thought this guy was an idiot.
Yeah, he is an idiot. And basically, he's afraid that, she's going to make him a victim as well. And he basically helps her at the end here with this last victim. But she doesn't like leaving any witnesses to her crimes. So she plans to kill him anyways. And what he does is she's going to give him the drink to help him sleep, but he knows that she's going to kill him. He's like, okay, I'll just pretend to fall asleep. And when she goes off to get her tools to murder him, he sneaks out. Okay, so he sneaks out. She's got her cleaver. She's like, we'll get you. But he's not there. And then she realizes, he's going to go off to the cops. Maybe, she's got to get rid of all the evidence. So she decides to burn down the house, right? But she still has these 2 orphans. These 2 orphans are still there. So she decides, hey, why not put this meat cleaver to use? And she this is like one of the most heinous panels in comics where she literally takes the meat cleaver to one of the kids' heads. And then she lights the house on fire. But she took too long doing all that. And she gets trapped in the fire. And then the guy has informed to the police, and it's like, oh my goodness, we can't save her because she's on fire too, and she dies. However, Ray Gardner actually was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment for helping her with the crimes. Well, and even though he just helped her with one, and technically,
That's enough.
yeah. So what they're trying to show here is even a potential accomplice, like, do not get involved with criminals, basically, even at the basic level, where even if you feel like you're threatened, you have
Yeah.
to.
You're disposing of a body, like
Yeah, it's pretty incriminating. So it's pretty messed up. The one thing that they didn't mention in this story, which I thought was really heinous, in the true story, is in the newspaper after the house burned, they actually called her a hero.
Yeah.
And because they thought, oh, that she had gone back into the house to rescue the kids, and that's how she died. That's what the newspapers thought at first, and then they later, when more information came out, they retracted that story and said, hey, look, she's actually horrible. But that was kind of one of the almost tragic things at the end there, that the newspapers at first were all claiming that she was a hero.
Also, she was not a good-looking woman.
No, she wasn't. In real life, she wasn't. By this point, she's kind of. They actually hinted that in one of the stories where one of the men's like, "Oh, you're not as comely as I."
yeah, you're not as young as I thought you were.
Yeah, yeah, and and she's like, "Okay, you're definitely gonna die."
yeah, it's like, what'd you say about me? Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah,
But I love your money.
yeah, but I love your money. Okay,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
so that's the main story. The next story, there's a lot of stories. This is what I like about Golden Age books. It's an anthology, right? You got a whole bunch of stories. Some you might like more than others, right? But you get a whole bunch of stories, and each story would be almost equivalent to a modern comic.
Mhm.
So, you guys prevented me from letting me like read a trade paperback of a book. Well, this is my
I will disagree with you on that because like a lot of the books I read that are modern, there was actually the same amount of words in the books. Like leave out
Yeah.
the whole like top part and stuff. But it all depends on what modern books you're reading and stuff. Because like
Yeah.
and who's writing it. But there is some books that
Well,
don't
they
have
would
a lot
take
of
one of
words in
these
them. But
stories and make it a full book, really, is what I found. Like that, these are, but you'll find in the Golden Age they really condense things in terms of the number of pages. Like a story will get condensed into 8 pages usually, and a lot of storytelling happens very, very quickly. Okay, so there's 2 more stories, I think. This is Monk Mahoney, and basically he's a criminal that loves pets. That's his whole story. He starts out as a kid in a pet store, working for pet seller. The store gets robbed, but his boss is going to fire him because he keeps on stealing the pets. By the way. So the store gets robbed, and he's like, hey, go ahead, take the money, I don't care. And when the criminals are like being a little bit mean to the pets, he actually stands up for the pets and punches one of the criminals. So here's the scene. The guy is like playing with the dog, and even though he has a gun, this boy is not afraid. He just like, don't mess with the dogs. I like animals. Don't mess with them. And he punches the guy out. And the other criminal is so impressed by his like right hook that they actually hire him to be a criminal, and he becomes a very successful criminal actually, as criminals go. But he's always got this pigeon that he carries with him and stuff, and he is not nice to people at all. He will kill. He will do whatever it takes to make money. And the funny thing is, I actually was curious about this one. I didn't investigate this one more, but I thought it was really interesting story that he goes around, he kills other mobsters. He's just a horrible guy. But he's always protecting the birds and animals. Okay. But the funny thing is, later on, like I'll get to it one sec here. Yeah. He actually builds a hospital for homeless animals. he actually uses the money that he's making from all these crimes to build an animal shelter or something. I don't know if that ever got built. I don't know if that actually, like, if that ever came to fruition, but I thought that was really interesting that there's probably somewhere in New York or somewhere like that, animal hospital that has like mob ties to it, basically.
It's New York. Everything has mob ties.
Exactly. So later on, though, he actually, there's always rivalries between the different gangsters, right? And he's basically, going to meet this other group of gangsters and wipe them out. And they actually do wipe them out, and it's a massacre. But
So
the
this is
police,
where Al Capone got the idea. Okay.
yeah, exactly. But because there was so much shooting and stuff, the police are obviously informed, and he kills all his enemies. But at the same time, the police come and they end up killing him. So this is the page of him getting, probably like riddle-holed with bullets. And then they say the only one that warns him is his pigeon. So I thought that was pretty sad.
Well, that's a little cuckoo.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so crime is for the birds, guys. Okay. And we got, oh, wait, one sec here. I think this is the last story. One sec here. I think this is it, right?
Yes. It's the
It's
insurance
on
guy.
page 42.
Yeah, I'll go back one more. I clicked a little too quickly. It's called the Accident Club.
No.
And I'll just summarize this one. This one, basically, their whole thing is the guy that starts it, he wanted to be a doctor. He didn't make it into, he didn't quite do well enough to make it into medical school. So they kicked him out of school. He comes up with this brilliant idea of creating a medical insurance fraud system. Basically, they would fake accidents, and they would have a doctor like him, and they would have a fake lawyer that also was a guy that didn't pass his law school. And then they would have like other people within the gang pretend to be witnesses to the crime. Okay. Okay, so this is him going to school, and then they would have like these, accident insurance claims where they would get like $50,000 from the insurance. If you think about that, that's huge money. We're talking about like millions of dollars nowadays money, right? Probably equivalent to about $2 million nowadays, I'd say. So big money. Okay. And basically, they would fake the x-rays and stuff like that. But what happened is, the insurance people were like a little bit questioning whether or not this guy truly broke his leg, because he's just acting, right? So, the insurance guy goes, "Hey, let me take a look at that x-ray." And he shows the x-ray, but it's a fake x-ray. But when the insurance guy looks at the x-ray, he's smoking, right? Everybody was smoking back then. They all were smoking. And he accidentally lights a little bit of the edge of the x-ray on fire. Okay, that's important because later on, they're like, oh, the insurance guys are not, they don't believe our, story. Okay, so they decide the best thing to do is actually break his legs. Well, we'll just fix that. We'll break his legs, take another x-ray that will show that, hey, it is a real compound fracture. But the mistake that they make is the original x-ray was burnt on the edge, right? So later on, they realize, oh, wait, the missing burned edge isn't there. So the burned edge is there. They get caught for the crime, and 9 members of the gang go to prison for insurance fraud. Okay? And that's the summary. Wow. I know it's a lot. It's a golden age, guys. So that was a long summary. Now you don't have to read the book. I saved you all that time. But I thought it was interesting. I do like true crime personally. I enjoy watching crime stories. So I thought this was interesting. They did
Mhm.
pick a lot of famous cases from history, and for me, I have to go through my scores.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
the cover I liked. It's a reasonable cover. Got the girl in the red dress. Guys, do not wear red dresses. It's dangerous. It's bad for your health,
Especially if you can't swim.
especially if you can't swim. If you're gonna wear a red dress, learn to swim first. Okay. She couldn't swim. She dies. So I like the cover. I give the cover like a 3. I'm not gonna give it like super high score. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna inflate the score just because I like the cover. Hey, Steven, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Are you going to show any more of the book?
What do you mean? I just showed the whole entire book.
Okay, maybe I came in a little bit late. The one where the gal is killing all the guys and the kids and everything else.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand what that book was. And when I was at a comic show and a guy said, why don't you buy one of my books, Gentner? And I said, well, I appreciate that. But he says, no. And I said, well, I'll catch up with you later. Like I won't. He says, oh, did you see this? And then it was this book.
Yeah.
And I looked at the cover and I said, well, I mean, what in particular? He said, no, read this story. And I
Yeah.
went, oh, I said,
Crazy.
that is probably one of the most violent murder
In
and
comics.
continuing murdering all the way. And doesn't she die in a fire at the end?
Yep. She
Yep.
burns up.
And dies in the fire as well. I mean, that has got everything going for it,
Yeah. So
for what
yeah.
it's worth.
Yep. So So for me, I give the cover a little bit of a lower score. It's not like a super awesome cover. It's one that I remember only because of that story now. Like if I see this cover, I'll like, oh, okay, I got to get that book. But it's a hard book to find actually. So I give the story a cover a 3. I think the interior art is a little bit better. I give it a 3.5. It's not. Again, it's not. It. I always like interior art that tells the story. I do like the splash pages, and I actually really do like the story.
It's
The
Underworld 3. What is it?
Underworld 3. Underworld.
Let me see
3.
if I get it. I'll get it.
Yeah. And basically, the story, the art for the main story that that was the most heinous actually is pretty great. I thought it was pretty gruesome. They didn't hold back. That's what I thought was pretty cool. I thought it was well done. I like the little splash pages. I thought that was good. So that's why I gave it a 3.5. The stories though, I actually am going to give them really high score. Even the ones that are like sort of these secondary stories, I actually thought they were really, really great. I thought it was interesting that they showcased all the different parts of the criminal's past. I do like that kind of history. So I'm going to give them like a 4.25. I'm not going to give it like it's not the best story ever written, but I do like the fact that a lot of the time what we say and like when people create comics, when they do it, you think, oh, this is like really horrible and nobody would ever do that kind of thing.
They did.
But real crime is actually usually even more extreme than the fake crime that people create. So it's funny how these stories are actually more egregious or heinous than what people come up with their own imagination. So it's the criminals are just, it shows how violent they are and how horrible people they are. Especially the Belle Guinness. She was just a psychopath. And these books, these crime books from this era really, really showcased the worst of the worst. Because that sold comics. people like I mean, right now on Netflix, they have the story of Ed Gein.
Yeah, Dean. I still gotta watch that.
And it's a horrible story.
Yeah.
They actually changed the story a little bit to make it more salacious, and they kind of connected to the Nazis, which it didn't have any connection to. But it makes it more interesting. But the point is, people do like, seeing this side of our society, this horrific side of our society, and it sells comics. That's why people watch this stuff. And in the golden age, crime was a huge genre. Okay, so that's why I brought this to you guys. I wanted to give you guys a real sense of something over the top. Okay. With that said, all of these things together, this book is notorious. And because of that, I'm giving it a 4.5 overall score, because of the fact that it is one that if you don't have it in your collection, you got to add it into your collection. This is one of those, things like, what is it called, where you have like sort of like a little hidden treasure, or a little guilty pleasure. That's what I'm saying. So that's, yep. So we both have a nice copy of it. Very beautiful.
This one, what year is this now?
I believe this is like in the 50s. I'm thinking 50.
It's 1948.
48. I was going to say 4.
Oh,
No,
that was
you can see here, April 30th. This book was delivered on April 30th in the morning of 1948.
So this is early. Actually, this is considered early crime books.
That's the thing the guy said. He says, crime became really big, but one of the very first one that really splashed was this one.
Yeah. So yeah. Very cool. Okay, so who should I pick next? I'm gonna pick TM next. Okay.
All right.
Which game do you want, Bud?
So with this book, I will say, like, I like my favorite story was the main one. The main one, and then once you got to that, the rest of it just kind of fell short. So to give it a good score, because I overly liked that story. So I'm gonna throw out the rest of the stories and give it a score just based on the story I really liked, because even though like I hated that kid was stupid in my mind. That bothered me. I was like, what are you doing? Like, come on, think for a second. Just go to the cops right away.
Yeah.
That bothered me. And like I didn't do any research about this, but I feel like over the years I've heard this story. And that. So for the cover, I'm gonna I actually really like the cover. It could have made it better if Dick Tracy was on it, but
It
was still,
does seem like a Dick Tracy cover, though, doesn't it?
yeah. I'll give it a 3.25. Interior, I liked a little bit less, especially the one story right after had the worst art in my opinion. There was a lot of
all over the place, didn't it? Like
yeah. So for that, I'll have to give it a 2.75 for the interior. Now, yeah, story, like I said, I'm just gonna base it off of I don't know, like I read them all, and there was the beginnings. There was a few good stories and stuff. Like I got them, but like that main story was just the one that really it overshadows everything else. So for that, I'm gonna give the story a 4. And that because it's better than a lot of its parts, and that, as Alan likes to say sometimes. Yeah, that story. It was a really good story. Like, this is the thing too. Like, I walked into this book like thinking like I'm in spooky mode. I'm in scary mode right now. So like I walked into this book like thinking like, hey, he told me it's going to be a scary, spooky book, and that first 2 weren't. First 3 weren't. 4th one was, and it was spooky for me. I appreciated that. I'm bringing a spooky book next week and that because I'm in the Halloween mood. So like that's why I'm giving it such a high score for the story is because it delivered on the spooky story for me. And that's like the mindset I walked into it. Walked in head walking into it. So yeah, I have to give it a 4. I'm surprised because like going into it, I didn't think I was going to rate it high at all. Reading the first couple stories, I didn't think I was going to, but that main one, it made it. So,
Pretty
but
crazy.
overall, I will give it a 3.5.
Who you want to go next, Jim?
Um, let's go, Matt.
Matt? All right.
Okay, just a moment here.
Yeah, take your time, Matt. Matt's doing the score sheet. I ain't doing the grades.
Okay. Running total 28.75. All right. Well, I'm glad that it happened in real life because that story really bummed me out. What bummed me out about it is not that she killed the men; it was the children.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
That's the whole part. That's the whole
yes,
thing.
I realize that's the thing. And according to the story I read, sure enough, when they recovered the bodies later, the kids' heads had been whacked. So I was so I mean, like they were
That's one
realistic.
thing they were pretty accurate in terms of the descriptions inside the script.
That's what scares me. I mean, like I read true crime all the time. That doesn't normally get to me, but I guess I wasn't really expecting it in a comic book, and it threw me off.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well, that's
I mean,
why Wortham wasn't too happy with these books.
How can he get upset with that?
I can understand why now. I'm not saying I'm upset. I'm just saying I was really blown away by like, whoa, this is a lot for a comic book. I would expect this type of thing in a Stephen King book or Dean Koontz or whatever.
Yeah.
Not in a comic book from 1948. I know that they put some.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was 48. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to do quick. I like the cover, 3.5. Interior art was all over the place. So because some of it was so bad and some of it was so good, I'm going to go with the main story. And I'll pick that style because that story seemed to be
best,
most
actually.
consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give the interior art a 3.75 based on that story. And I'm going to do the same thing in terms of the writing. I'm going to pick just that story. I was willing to give it a small, I thought it was a hack right until I read the real story, in which case I got a lot more respect for it. So I'm actually going to give the writing a 4. And
Because it's real. Because it's real.
Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes they embellish. It almost looks like with this story, they took the newspaper stories and like wrote it out.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. It feels a little hacky, probably because he didn't do his own writing. It was more like, okay, newspaper. And then this happened. And then this happened. And then this happened.
Well, they had to summarize like a whole bunch of murders that happened. Like they figure like 20 murders. I mean, that's
that they know of.
A lot of the evidence was destroyed. She like chopped them up.
Remember also the fact that they can't quite. Did she kill her dad? Did she not?
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I'm saying. It was.
So anyway, overall, I will give the book a total of 3.5 because in this case it's an overall. I am going to include the other stories in this. Okay, so I do bring it down slightly on that, but that's my overall, and I'm going to pick. Oh God, this is hard. I want to pick both of them, but I'll go with
double review.
But I picked D last time, so I'm going to go with Biggie this time.
All right, thank you, Matt. All right, so I had to put this in perspective of like a new book that I read that had like 5 different stories. So I read a Spider-Man book not that long ago, and it was good overall because most of the stories were good. Now, Action 1000, I enjoyed one story more than the rest. And that does make it good. It's like a baseball team It has a really good baseball player. It kind of makes the rest of the players pretty good as long as they play all right together. But the art on the inside, it's like that panel where they were like covering up in the car and there was just pure white around the car. That was not good. That was not good. Bless their hearts. But I felt like the JoJo comic was more graphic than this one a little bit at points. Some of the things that happen.
It's just that one story in particular that was.
It's the one panel with the kid getting in the hatchet shit. You know, it's like the hatchet to the head. Without that, it's pretty okay.
The fact that it happens to kids is the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The writing it felt like they were trying to
cover. Did you give me a score yet? Sorry, I was totaling the rest.
No, he's just giving an overall summary so far.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Go ahead.
I felt like they were trying to force like gangster talk in a few parts of it. There was a lot of like.
That's how they talked back then, believe it or not.
Every time money came up, they said dough.
Yeah.
Like, give me the dough.
Even when I was a kid, that's what people said, dough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember people saying the dough, yeah. Give me the dough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they said that a lot.
Or anything like that, too.
I actually got confused in a couple parts because they was talking so much gangster talk. I can't remember which story it was.
I think it was the one after this. They talked so much slang, or it was the one before that one. Like, yeah, I agree. Like the slang was way too hard to follow.
A little heavy.
Animals. He kept on saying void.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds very Brooklyn.
Yeah. I thought that was.
I'm gonna go. I mean, this is not a stunning cover. I don't care if she's wearing red, purple, polka dot, or whatever. I'm gonna go 275 on the cover. Mm-hmm. It's a little above average. It's not even quite a 3 to me.
I only gave it a 3, so
inside art, I'm going 2.5.
Okay.
Writing, if you have two good, I enjoyed the Maw story almost as much as the Belly or whatever you call her, Belle.
Belle.
I enjoyed how it started it ended where it started because she smacked her mom and then her daughter smacked her at the end. I thought that was smart. I liked how the one part where the girl got the boyfriend and he was like Handsome Dan or whatever his name was, and the first text he had was "Shut up, you stupid bitch" or whatever he said to her. And that's the guy she married or whatever and was with and didn't murder, you know?
I really like them when they treat them bad, eh?
Yeah, it was great. I like that part. And I was like, I like this Handsome Dave guy. That's like my favorite part of the book, Handsome Dave, you know?
Handsome Dave. Dances for a nickel.
What a guy.
He's the best. Yeah.
Small guy.
I'll give the writing like a 3.25. I'm not going to hammer it. But overall, I'll give it a 3. I'm not super. I love this story. I think it's cool for comic and history and all that, but there's better damn stories than that. Get a grip, guys.
Well, it's based on a true story, so it's a story that actually happened.
Yeah, it is a true story and very well accounted true story. But
so they're technically not writing it; they're just retelling the story that actually happened.
Yeah.
So I'll get into my review here. So this book, and you guys are going to hate me, and I don't give a shit. It encompassed what I hate about Golden Age stories. And part of it is because of the research I did after this, because I wanted to, it made me curious about the true story of Val Gunness.
Impacted you.
Yeah, and the story is wild. So, but I get all these other stories in the book that are really very forgettable.
Yeah.
And you just, and I like how you described them, Alan, and you didn't knock it for it, but I do. A lot of them had great detail of what made them become a criminal. And then 2 panels, story's over. I hate that. That is a personal D-Ronk George opinion. I hate the 2-panel ending of these Golden Age stories. It throws me off. I start getting
the standard.
Yeah. and I get invested in the story, and I'm like, like this pet thief is kind of interesting, and then like, boom, boom, he's gone. Like, okay, like, like that it doesn't do it for me. So I look at all these forgettable stories, and then I read the true story of Belle Gunness. I don't think it was a typo, because her accomplice was his real name was Ray Lamphere. So I
Okay.
think they changed the name on
They
purpose.
just
Um,
changed it a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that story had so much more to tell. The fact that there was a lot of uncertainty whether or not she was actually even in the house when it burned down. That it could have been the body of a victim that they were looking for.
Mhm.
The person was 5 inches, reportedly 5 inches shorter. Um, and then in this story that you read in the comic book, the Ray Gardner gets 20 years in prison.
I know it
The
sucks.
way, well, but the way they tell the story is he was kind of a victim in this. Like, she
Mhm.
lied to him about, oh, he attacked me, help me out, I need to hide this body. And then he starts being afraid of her, and he's trying to like find the right moment to get out. And when he was actually arrested, he was wearing property from several of the other victims that she had, like coats and watches and shit like that. So like he knew about her scheme.
Yes, but
He was able.
But he didn't know that she was murdering them with
and
what he
No, no,
was
also
no,
How do you
it
not
makes her
though?
that much more evil
How
because
do you
even
not
the
though?
guy is grossed out by it.
no. But guys, like, I think this story didn't explain why he deserved
And
20
he was
years in
her
prison.
lover as well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of what I disliked about this story is it skipped over why he was helping her,
They
why he
had
was there.
Yeah,
pages to
Well,
tell a big
I
story.
think that
I,
Specs was a little too much for this story.
I agree 100% with you, D man. If they would have gotten rid of the next story and just expanded it, it would have been a whole bunch better.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like that threw me off. Like the way he he escaped, he went and got the police, and then he's in prison, and then he died 3 years later. Like that once again was an abrupt brick wall of an ending to a very interesting story. And I think maybe this could have been 2 or 3 stories total, and the book would have been a lot better. But they crammed too many stories into this, and I get it. They're not going to spend 53 pages on one story, and I didn't need to have like an X-rated panel of them boning in the smokehouse. But they could have alluded to the fact that he was um helping her with her crimes, that he was
Mhm.
profiting from her crimes.
He
And
was an accomplice.
but in this, he like, oh,
He seems
oh
like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
the victim in a way. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. And then so like that type of like this is a super interesting story. And for like I forget how many panels or how many pages it is.
8,
They
I
do
think.
a they do a really good job telling this story for like 7.5 pages. And then brick wall ending. So I'll get to my reviews. The cover, um, I give it a 3. It's cool. The art is good. Yes, I did appreciate that it was part of the story. And I like golden and silver age word bubble covers.
Me too.
Um, so that I enjoy that there's comic text on the cover. So it bumped it up a little bit for me because of that. And I know 3 is not a super high score, but I think
I
it's
gave it 4. I
forgettable.
can't complain.
Yeah. The interior art, I'll be honest with you, like we've especially from Alan, we've been exposed to a lot of golden age books during this series that we're doing here. Um, and I'm starting to rate it more towards like other golden age art. And I thought it was a lot better than some of the previous ones. Like I look at the Wonder Woman book you had us read, And I thought that one was like,
Yeah, you're
I-
you're really hard on
so,
it.
but this was a lot better than that. Even some of the bad ones were not as bad as, that Wonder Woman book. Um, so the interior art, I also give it a 3. Um, wasn't amazing by any means, but it definitely told the story that it was telling. And, it gave me a lot of backgrounds. It gave me a lot, it had some goriness to it. Um, the writing, this is where you guys will hate me. It's a 1. The brick wall endings for every story, um, throw me off. It takes me out of every story. And then it makes me want more for some of the really good stories that they had going in here. And they cut them off at the knees so they could jam an extra few stories that are meaningless and not memorable. So, the if I graded the first 6 or 7 pages of every story, you could maybe I could argue that there are 4. But
Mhm.
the conclusion, the final act of a story is how you leave the story. It's your final impression of it. So I couldn't give it more than a 1 because I kept reading it and getting excited and then being pissed, and it happened over and over and over again. It's like so. Overall, I'll give the book. Uh, I'll give it a 2.5. Um, I'm definitely not mad that I read it because I from you and doing this series, like I wind up reading books that I would have never come across. And I enjoy getting to see like what led to what I'm collecting now.
Mhm.
So
It's
it's a
led to
memorable book.
stuff.
Yeah. And books like this probably led to the code being implemented. You
Mhm.
see a kid get hacked with a meat cleaver. That's some serious business. But,
Yes.
yeah, overall 2.5. And it, for all you guys, like, check out the real story on this. It is
We're checking out.
wild. It
Yep.
is
Yeah,
so
it's worth
wild.
checking out. It's definitely
Well,
It
before
probably
we
goes into more detail of how she killed the children and stuff too. Like that's fucked up. Sure,
give our
that-
overall score, let's have Steppo give his thoughts, and you could grade it too if you like, Steppo.
Well, I can't be added to the count because that's
No,
not
just for
fair.
fun though. Yeah,
Oh, well, for fun.
give it
yeah,
5
yeah.
gold
For the cover, the copy I have has a very nice color strike on it. And in 1948, for the kind of books that you could get in 1948, I thought it was it had a lot going for it as far as color, and it was a toe in the water as far as what was going to be coming. I agree with you about the other stories in the book. The other stories in the book really were kind of pretty much filler, and a sort of a very light taste of what you were going to get. But when I saw that book for the first time, when I read that story as an illustration, as an example of that genre of true crime, where the industry was trying to post-war get a lot more audiences, and they had gone away from guys flying around with suits and capes and stuff, and they wanted to have something that was more graphic. These guys had seen war, they had been in war, and if they're going to see something, it's got to register. And so the comic industry responded to that, and this book is one of the earlier examples of where they, for the most part, I mean, uh, I think that they left some of this stuff out because if it gets too, it's almost like reading a court brief as far as saying, well, then the guy did this and the guy did that. What they did take a little bit of license on it. Sort of like when you read about Lizzie Borden, if you read about Lizzie Borden and the actual full story, because they're sort of the stereotype of what Lizzie Borden did. But what this woman did, I mean, whether it was book and verse of exactly what she did, the thrust of it was this was a sociopath with absolutely no qualms about killing and hacking, and I believe it was for their estates to get their money.
Yeah.
And she would kill these guys for their money, and if there were kids, she'd kill them too. I mean, it was and it was based upon a real story. And as far as Wortham was more concerned about where they would show, like in Crime Doesn't Pay, where they said, "Now this is how the crooks robbed the bank. They put a guy outside, they put another guy inside, they made sure that the streets were clear." So it kind of gave a roadmap to how someone could rob something, and that was more of a lot of what the gratuitous violence,
He didn't
especially.
like this kind of stuff, gratuitous violence, and he also didn't like that they glorify these criminals. They spend too much time looking at the criminals rather than the police investigating the criminals.
And but you see, but watching a policeman at a desk going through files and looking at the fingerprints, as opposed to showing someone hacking somebody up and tossing him into the river or whatever she was doing, it was completely and totally salacious and gratuitous. There's no code. This was the Wild West in '48, and it was after the war, and so like going up into the Korean War, it was all very, very graphic and violent. I have some books to show you a little if you wish, but the Korean War books, the Atomic Age books are much more graphic. Pre-code horror, all that stuff was much more graphic. And in '48, which is really they're kind of getting there, in '47 was the best of the Good Girl stuff because it was they were showing a lot more flesh in 1947 going into '48. And in '48, the comic company says, okay, we're going to ratchet up the females, but let's ratchet up the crime at the same time. And they did that. And this was one of the exemplars. This was one of the ones that really stood out because in the day that this happened, it was really something. That where it all came out, and they as I said, they took a certain level of license to basically tell the basic story, and they're trying to sell more funny books, and they want you to come back next week or next month and spend another dime to find to get another story. So as far as it being clinically accurate, they were trying to basically entertain and to titillate rather than necessarily giving you book and verse. And that was the motivation on it,
I
which
will
is what
say, I will say it got people interested in going to look it up, right? Like Matt and T, and I'm gonna go look it up later and stuff because D recommended it to go look up the actual story. Like it pushed people to be like, oh, you know what? This is an interesting story. I want to know more about it. So it did its work.
Now, you understand that in 1948, of course, we don't have any kind of access to the kind of information. There are a lot of people that had no idea, and it didn't make their local newspapers, and they didn't, to a large degree, a lot of this across the country was brand new stuff. And if someone had an interest in it, like D, if you had an interest to do it back then, you'd go down to the library. And you would pull out the newspapers that they would have from different cities, and then you would go and you would read it there. That's that if guys were interested, or if there was a magazine that they had that also talked about it, because this really splashed. But to have it put into, as opposed to the tabloid press, it was put into a comic book, which is more heinous. And comic books were not aimed at little kids so much. Comic books were aimed at 15, 16, 17. The little kids were supposed to be getting Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and that kind of stuff. And whatever Dell was at that time, or King Features, or things like that. It wasn't supposed to be some kid gets to look and watch the kids getting hacked up with a hatchet, and all the deleterious stuff. So the market
adults were reading comics at this point as well.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, that the floor of it was more 15, 16 up. And of course, that also catered to the guys coming back who are in their 20s now from the war, 2022, 24. It was right up their street. And this was the kind of entertainment that would draw them in to make them want to come back. So that's the raison d'etre for the thing. So so as far as the fact that you could just go and on either on your phone or on your computer, go clickety pop and you have the whole story. Back then, you didn't have any of that stuff. And there might have been newsreels about this too, but chances are they wouldn't, because it was so graphic and so horrible that they couldn't talk about it. And the other thing too, after the 30s, when they had they had Capone and all these guys, and Machine Gun Kelly and Little Boy, Pretty Boy Floyd, and Bonnie and Clyde and all of this other stuff that about the crime that was being there was a wave of crime that was going on when they were going up against the banks as they were foreclosing on farms and all that other stuff. And they were trying to get a little bit away from that, but they didn't, because the comics, in order to sell the comics, you had to get something to get them to buy the book, which is job number one with a comic book. So anyway, those are my things. So I think that I would give the cover a 3, only because I like the way that the colors worked in conjunction with them down on the dock and the attitude. I would say that I like with TM, the main story, and what everyone said, the main story, it's a real story. It is, like I said, it isn't clinically accurate, but it certainly gives you 95% of the gist of the thing. And I would give it a 4, because it's one of the most outrageous crime stories. I mean, really, really was. And the art in this story was certainly workmanlike. It was not Renoir or any, it wasn't anything like that. But it certainly got the point across from what the comics could do in 1948 for 10 cents. I thought that it got the point across very well. So I would say the art, I would give it a 3. And then as far as the whole book as a whole, for what it represented and its time and its place in that, I would give it a 4.25. That's just me.
Damn, that was really good, Stepper. Almost like you've done it before. So this is where we do our overall thoughts, and then we'll check out some Steppo books. If I know D works hard, and he might have to take off before we're done, but
yeah,
I'm interested in seeing some books.
Just quickly, the first crime book was 1942.
Sorry?
The very first book devoted to crime.
Maybe this woman made it to Argentina and set things up for the Nazis.
I went into this thinking that I wasn't going to like it at all, and I ended up enjoying 2 of the stories pretty good. And I feel like if we just graded that one story, it would have probably done pretty good.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind the other stories, to tell you the truth. I actually liked Ma Wilkins. I thought that was
my second one. Yeah, it was just about as good.
Yeah.
Well,
and even the guy
for me,
the animals wasn't that bad.
I like the animal one too.
I got into every story. That was my complaint, is that there was too many of them, and then every story ended by slamming into a brick wall and on to the next story. Like that, I don't care about the reason, the justification, why they did it, how they did. Like it. The fact is, when I'm reading this story, that is how it plays. It's like, hey, interesting story, fun, cool, exciting. Boom, it's over. Like I can't ever get into that.
I would agree with you on that. I would actually like if they had just made it about each, like one story, and just did the whole book, and still with the same level of concentration of content, and really kind of fleshed out the stories more. But
TM has our next pick. What is that, TM?
Sandman number 6.
Mm-hmm. Is that Death or Lucifer or something?
No, it's 24 hours. The cover makes sense when you watch it. It's like somebody trying to escape their own minds. It's a spooky story. It's cited as one of DC's scariest stories. So just in time for Halloween.
Perfect.
Cool. Thank you, TM. So that'll be our book next week. What'd you say, Alan?
I got a new Morph action figure.
Awesome. Has a great writer behind it.
Hold on. I got too much shit going on. All right.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Alan. Oh, you got Morph.
Yeah, the new Morph action figure.
Hey, he's going to be big in the next series, what people are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be part of, I don't know, he's going to be teaming up with Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike.
Shit.
I love my Morph action figures, so I got them all.
Oh, good for you, man. I know you do love Morph. What you got for us, Stepper?
I ordered this and I didn't realize how big it was. But I got this creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it has Julia Adams in her white swimsuit.
Damn.
But it's big and big graphics and stuff.
That's really nice.
That is good.
I have the final total here.
Oh, okay. Let's see
We
what.
got it came in at 63.
Uh-huh.
63.75%. And it's the 21st worst the book on the list.
Or 21st best.
No, 21st worst.
Oh,
Why
okay.
is it so low?
I don't know, dude.
Because somebody gave it 331 and 2.75. That's why.
But no, there was a bunch of high scores. You'd think it would sort of average out at like a 3.
You would think, but you know
my
what?
father always said that you could run 100% occupancy and have one day at 95%. And the occupancy for the month would be like 96. I mean, in other words, you have one day off and it just throws the whole thing out.
It's not a big deal. D had a total of 9.5 out of 20. That's the big thing right there.
That will have an effect.
You know, and Allen's was the highest at 15.5. So,
well, you would
that's
think because
still
the book he
4.5.
chose.
Yeah, I'm gonna like the book that I gave, right? I'm biased. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
no, you're
And
enthusiastic.
Biggie gave a couple scores under 3 and a couple of scores around 3.
Okay.
Like
I thought there was a lot of high scores. That's why I was thinking. Okay.
This just
Hey guys, I do have to. Hey, no, Steppo, hold on a second. I got to get going. I haven't eaten since I don't know breakfast this morning, so it has been a long day for me. So I gotta roll out. You all have a good one. I will read the Sandman #6, and I'll be ready for next week.
All right, have a good one, D.
So
see you, D.
adios.
I got this one from Slabbed Addict on Astonishing Auctions, and there are some of these, but this one is unusual because
I'd
it's a.
recommend don't show too many books, by the way, but I would save these for the Friday show. I would say.
I just thought I'd show a few.
Okay.
This is a Bruce Lee nostalgia. This was a comic section, and it was in Connecticut, and it was in the newspaper in Connecticut, and there were, I think, 2 issues. And this is issue number 1 in a 9/8, and it has white pages. Now, from 1983 to have white newsprint gives you some idea of what kind of newsprint was available in 83, and at least the company that was producing that was able to do that. I mean, that they actually purchased the right kind of newsprint. Nicer newsprint. We are talking about Police. Here's Police Comics number 122.
Very cool.
That doesn't look like Sting at all.
No, it doesn't.
Better send out an SOS. Get the right one.
Yeah, I like all these covers better than that one we just read.
I like this one a lot. That's LB Cole, so that's really good.
That'll do it. Yeah, look at that header.
Another
Oh, man,
classic
that's cool.
That's
That's
a Matt
amazing.
Baker, I believe.
Is it Baker? Holy shit.
Is
Red
it Baker?
on yellow.
Am I right on that, Stephen? Is it Baker?
It sure looks like him. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I can't see why I would have bought it otherwise, but I like the idea. But these guys in the open wheel racers, when they would go on those wooden tracks that they were on, death, man. Those guys were.
Number
Oh,
7.
yeah.
What is it?
It's volume 1, number 7, Public Enemies. Stories of the fight for law and order.
Let's see.
Racket Squad.
Covered by Bob Jenny.
So he is emulating Matt Baker.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm. Wow.
Oh, that's the Hooters one. That's a nice one. Racket Squad.
Now, why would I buy Robin Hood?
That is
Matt Baker's inside.
yeah. Matt Baker.
Quality comic. It's Matt Baker inside, and it's a code book too. So it's late in the day for him.
Yeah, he doesn't last much longer.
Hi, Tan.
That's pretty.
Oh, that's a cute one. Yeah.
Sally and Paul, my sister and my fiance. Forget her, darling.
That's okay. Find his brother and hook up with him.
He doesn't have a brother.
Father, then.
Here is one of the many, many girl titles.
Rusty.
Is that her name or how she is?
No,
Yes.
it's the guy. It's the guy, actually.
No, it isn't. It's the girl.
Yeah,
You
dummy.
see, Rusty is a redhead.
Yeah. Get together, Alan.
Isn't she pretty?
She's a doll. Yeah. I love how the guys always look goofier than the girls.
They always on a lot of these. This is a Graham Ingalls cover,
Saddle Justice.
and she's got saddles on her. Lord Almighty!
A lot going on in there.
True and terrific. It says so. This is a Alan Ulmer cover, and one of his good ones.
Oh yeah. Oh, we lost somebody. I think it was Alan.
Probably got a phone call. He probably got a phone call.
No, it was just my internet died there for a second. I think there's a storm. That's why.
It has been raining on and off all day. Are you okay?
Yeah,
You're right, Alan?
So. I'd say I'm 80%.
This cover was done by, which surprised me, Everett Raymond Kinsler.
Mm-hmm.
Avon. It's an Avon.
I need to get some Avon.
Avon's is good. Avon's is good stuff. This is Secret Mysteries.
My wife prefers Sephora. Makeup company. Come on, Avon.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Avon. Yeah, Avon with door-to-door salesman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. With the pink cars.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's one of the best from that series, by the way.
That looks like a stoner.
I like girls on swings.
I like girls. Swinging or otherwise.
Who doesn't like girls?
Oh, the one, yeah.
I got this. It was not expensive, but I said, the guy is staring right at her fanny. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And this is in Toronto. This is how the girls are in Toronto.
Nope.
Well, they are.
Why are they like that in Toronto?
Was this before Marilyn Monroe?
This is from Toronto, but yes, I know.
This is in the same vintage, 1953. February of 53, so it's probably late 52.
I don't think he's just staring. I think he got a little excited there. Look at his face.
Well, and he was so excited the steering wheel's on the wrong side of the car. I mean, you gotta be pretty excited to do that.
Actually, didn't you know back then we were on the left side of the road?
You were. Isn't that true?
No.
We're backwards like that here in Canada.
Although people in Canada drive on the other side, right?
Until 1920, some provinces were left, some provinces were right, and then Canada stepped in and said, "You're all going to be right."
So this came out on June 11th, and it's August dated June, July. So it's a bi-monthly. It was 2 months ahead. So this was a bi-monthly. These are Canadian.
Yeah, they're superior. Yeah.
Damn.
Everything in Canada is superior.
Of course.
Well, that's why the Blue Jays are in the World Series.
Hopefully we'll win.
Well, if they do, it's in Canada. At least they won't burn the place down if you win or lose.
Actually, the last time Toronto had a championship with the Raptors, someone got shot and killed.
This one has the glasses too.
Oh, I was just about to ask you if you still have the 3D glasses.
Nice.
I got this from Bleak. I got this from Bleecker.
Very cool.
I didn't realize this until just about a year or so ago that Skyman, of course, he was in Big Shot Comics, but then he got his own title, but it was like very, very like one a year. I mean, for Columbia Comics. And I always thought there were only 3, but it developed that there were actually 4. And this is issue number 4 of Skyman.
Interesting. Isn't the first Sky Girl in Jungle?
Sky Girl is in Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Jumbo. My bad.
Jumbo.
Yeah, Jungle is not Jumbo is Sheena. What's Jungle, Alan?
Okay.
Jungle is I always forget her name. Mal something.
Wasn't
Mason.
Sheena in
Mason.
Jungle Comics?
Something Mason. Jane
Isn't
Mason?
it? Well, no,
No.
isn't it Tiger Girl?
Oh, okay. What am I thinking? Sorry, don't mind me.
I got a
All right,
question.
that's all right. Hell, you only drove 9,000 miles
At
yesterday.
150
Yeah, yeah.
miles per
But
hour. Yeah.
I know that Jumbo 68 is the first appearance of Sky Girl, so
Yeah.
I'll balance it out with some correct information.
This is a very, very early Slam Bang number 4. I think it's 1939 Fawcett.
That's a great one too.
Hurricane Hansen. And you look at the color strike on this old of a book. It's really, I mean, I've never seen a nicer one. I don't really collect Slam Bang. I just love the cover on this one.
Yeah.
I like the eyes on the octopus.
Oh, yeah. And it's bleeding too, you know?
Wow.
Anatomically, do you think that a guy with a knife in the water could cut a tentacle off
If you
of
can hold it,
off
and
an
then,
octopus?
yeah,
There's no way.
I think he could if it wasn't, like tensed up. If it was, like in the middle of being moved, I think he could because there wouldn't be as much liquid in it.
no, you
Well,
want
I'm
it
sure
tense. You want it tense actually, because you
this book is really bad acid. It really is bad acid. This is a Fox Features Syndicate book, Life with Snarky Parker.
Oh, that one. Jeez, that's
Okay.
What the hell is going on here?
Well, those are just the guys that used to hang out at my place.
But the guys down at the bottom?
Sure. There's no such thing as bad
It
acid.
looks like Gumby. It looks like Clokey.
very
Clokey was
Gumby-like.
the animator. It's very Gumby looking.
Yeah.
The guy on the bottom, though, it reminds me of Gilligan.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Gilligan. Yeah, I can see that. Oh yeah, totally. The guy in the
That's
middle.
Mr. Howell, Ginger, and
And it reminds me of like the guy on the far right. Reminds me of some like
Well, it's like the Inspector
yeah,
or Clyde Crash Cup.
yeah.
What is the girl doing in the car? What's going on there?
I think that's a doll of some kind. I don't know.
that looks like a woman in a
Scarf.
No. The coats they use in the loony bin there.
Oh yeah, like
She looks like she's in a straitjacket,
Yeah.
but all the way up around her. So why is she in a car? I mean, it's bad acid. What is going on? Snarky Parker. Here is Soldier of Fortune number 3. ACG.
I like how he has her hair. That's kind of
And as you know, Ogden Whitney did almost all of this stuff. He was a fixture at ACG. He was at Columbia Comics and did a lot of stuff other than that. He had a little trouble with the bottle, but he was really good. Here is Soldier of Fortune number 6. Again with Ogden Whitney. Red-blooded fighting men.
those ones are cool.
Major in a pack.
No, I'd rather have Colonel Corn. Sorry.
The rocket powered punch.
Major in a pack.
I couldn't figure out for the longest time what company produced this, and it turns out it was made by Marvel.
Damn.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Atlas or whatever, but Marvel.
I have that whole run, believe it or not.
It's not a competition, Alan. You don't always have to say
Always
that. You
a
know?
competition. It's
Sheesh.
always a competition.
Every damn time you get a full run. I got that full run.
I have the whole run.
Yeah.
No,
Where are you running to, Alan? Is it right?
They're in 3 boxes in pieces, but I have every one of them.
Why I like one shot?
Oh,
Because it's easy to get the whole run.
In all pieces. That's messed up.
Sparky Watts.
Is this a fever dream?
That's really cool.
This looks like something that I
and
accidentally.
it's not
saw.
Basil Wolverton. It's Ogden Whitney again, isn't it?
Booty Rogers.
Oh, Booty Rogers. I mean, Booty Rogers.
That's
Yeah.
a great name.
That's one
I
I would
mean,
keep
isn't
away
it?
and drop.
And he was born in unstate Oklahoma in the Panhandle or something like that on an Indian reservation. And it was Indian land and then was finally absorbed. And the guy, he did Sparky Watts was his big character. And this is Sparky Watts himself.
Some eyeballs or something. All right. Fair enough.
Looks like someone went on a trip, all right. Holy.
Man, oh man. Just a really high-grade copy of this. This is another Atlas Marvel Comics. Speed Carter, Spaceman, and the Space Sentinels. Science fiction tales of men in
Go,
space.
Speed Carter. Go, Speed Carter. Go.
He's going round the track.
The dinosaur in the bottom looked very relaxed. His eyeballs-
Dinosaur in a bottle. Hey, I was talking about Korean War books. Here's one of them.
Oh, that's great. I don't think I've ever seen a adaptation of a tunnel. That's nice.
Oh yeah, that's a classic book. Yeah, with them making the tunnels and stuff.
Here, this guy's getting shot right through the stock of his rifle into his mouth. Again, Korean War.
Yeah, taking his tooth out at the same time.
Well, it was bothering him.
Naturally. If he didn't remove it, it would have had a cavity in it.
Why would I have this tatty book?
Because it's Super Mouse?
It's Frank Frazetta.
It's Frank Frazetta's inside.
Wow, that's cool.
1949.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Did somebody tell you about that before?
I don't know. Must have. I just know.
I just knew. I just knew.
I just know everything.
Just ask me.
Just don't remember.
Mademoiselle. Yeah.
Mademoiselle Marie.
Marie. Yes.
Marie, yes.
I always like The Longest Day, where they have that really hot babe that's part of the resistance, you know, and all the guns, you know, and where they have the poem on the radio and it comes across, and then she basically wears all these tight clothes and distracts the guys as they're moving people around and what have you. It's pretty darn cool.
But though any cover with her on it, those books go for a lot more. Like they're sort of the.
I wonder
the key
why.
ones that they-
Well, there aren't very many of them. There's just a
I think
handful.
there's like 4, I think, altogether. Yeah.
I couldn't figure out. I bought this one because I said, what in the hell's happening here? And it's a person in a cloak looking through a window at midnight for the return of the Phantom Archers. But the centerpiece of it is this. It's an Ajax comic.
Mm-hmm.
I like the color strike, but it's a candelabra. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
And it's code.
Hmm.
If you saw this on the newsstand, and look how small the stamp is. So this was it's a Farrell publication. And I mean Farrell, F-A-R-R-E-L, not Farrell, F-E-R-A-L.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kept on correcting my pronunciation of that for the longest time.
I won't do that no more. Strange Mysteries #1.
This is a banned book, by the way. That book was banned in the U.S.
Wow.
Because it was the corpse orgy.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to have their way with her. Like it's a bunch of corpses, kind of.
Well, Elf Thing had a elf orgy in it, but whatever.
But that was Wendy and Schmidla and Jose Pini, and the Pini stuff was acceptable.
Yeah.
Sounds like she was relaxing. She went
all the way.
Yeah. My God, a corpse orgy.
Terror strikes Randall Rock. I can hear D just really grooving on the title of that one.
Mm-hmm.
A story about a rock? The Ghost of Castle Karloff. I wonder where they got the Karloff name. Vampires Dance at Dusk.
Oh, dusk. Wow. They're up early.
This is a really good one. This is an annual. Strange Terrors, and it's got 100 pages, and it's got the whole spine still around. And it's
You're
got
the
a
one that actually got me onto these ones, by the way.
number 6.
Mm.
All picture adventures. We don't got to read them words. They're just all pictures.
Oh boy.
Are we keeping you up, Matt?
Oh, it's been.
I got to go soon here too, by the way. But
Nah,
Well,
it's been
listen, I don't want to show too much. I mean, I don't want to wear you out. Do you want to call it?
Oh, yeah, if we can, because I have to
Okay.
a couple announcements before.
Okay, go ahead. I'm thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you,
Sorry.
Steppo. Appreciate you. What you got going on?
My
Alan? What's got
my
cooking?
pleasure.
Oh.
So just quickly, one I have to do behind the stage with you guys, but another,
Ew!
one I have to do now is just say that on Sunday I'm going to have another claim sale, and this time I'm bringing an extra person as well, so it'll be a lot of cool new stuff. So it'll be pretty
An
exciting.
extra claim sale person or an extra host?
Extra claim sale person. So we're going to get a whole interesting collection as well. So
There will be 2 people selling. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yep. But they're bringing it together. They're meeting and they're going to be displaying it all together. So it should be good.
And tomorrow night, I'm going to be guesting on Rich Big Nasty's channel for his weekly geekly thing or whatever he calls it. I know weekly geekly is the other guy, but I mean
Mark Oldroyd.
Oh, yeah.
or it's Geek Out. I think it's called
Without
Geek Out with Rich.
Roscoe.
No.
No, not that
Whatever
guy.
Rich has, it says something to do with Geek Out. I can't remember the name off the top of
Yeah,
my head.
I think it's like geeking out with, and then it's you.
Yeah, geeking out with me. So I'll be. That's 8:00 tomorrow night Eastern. I'll
Okay,
be
we'll
on
have to
Big
watch
Nasty's channel. Unfortunately, I have to skip Alan's show and Biggie's show this week because my son is turning 17 on the weekend, and we're
congrats.
having
Happy
Happy
grandparents over.
birthday!
You're heading down to the bar and teach him what it means to be a man. Is that it?
Oh, one more year. One more year.
No, you take them down to Mexico and say, okay.
We're
Well, that's
taking him.
That's convenient.
We're taking him down to Legoland. I think we're on Saturday. So
Take an aspirin, take a Tylenol or something before you go in, because there is so much to see that your eyes. I find that I will do that. Like when I go to a comic convention, I'll take a Tylenol or something, or an aspirin, Tylenol, because I concentrate. You're looking so hard at stuff for so long that when you come out, you've got a huge headache. At least I do. So I always prophylactically, I'll take like a Tylenol before I go in, because it's just, I don't want to have a headache get in the way of me trying to look at books or looking at stuff too. And Legoland's going to be, you're going to,
Legoland's not that big, actually.
it's not that big. We can do it in about 4 hours.
Maybe even less. It's not that big.
You don't know my
And
son.
there's only 2 rides. There's only 2 rides.
No, but
So.
you don't know my son. We'll be there 3 to 4
Hopefully you enjoy it, though, at least.
So
Yes.
to this week's Alan's challenge was your favorite artist, which I'm still going to do, and Alan will announce his next one soon, Friday.
Yeah, and that's what I have to tell you guys behind the scenes.
Yeah, sadly, I won't be participating in that one. I already know what it is, but I don't have the books for it. So,
Well, that's what we have to talk about behind the scenes.
Ah,
okay.
ladies and gentlemen, tune in to find out what happens.
Yeah. Also, tune in tomorrow. I got my Jigs package finally coming in. It'll be here tomorrow. So my 5
Good.
slabs and 4 books.
Good
I
for
can't
you,
wait
finally.
Oh,
I can't
wow.
wait to unbox that. I'll be doing it live, and then Hot 5 Commandments tomorrow. Tune into that Biggie Stack's channel. We have it all set up for that, and then I was supposed to record with Rich Big Nasty Comics, but I guess the building is going to be without power from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow, so I won't have power to record with them.
Why
so
don't you have power for 3 hours?
they're going to be working on the electric box outside, so they notified us. So they told us today. So
Go watch a movie or something that day, or
Yeah, go out
I'm
someplace. Go to
we're
a
going to go
comic
for a
shop.
walk. Yeah, I wish there was a comic shop near me. I have to order all my books online.
He lives on an island that doesn't have a lot of comic. Is there even a comic shop on PEI?
Yeah,
There
there's one in
is. It's 2 hours away from me, and that it doesn't have anything. I went there once and stuff, tried to go through stuff, and that they've gotten rid of a lot of their comics and made room for tournaments for Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
So
Oh.
common because that's how they make their money.
Yeah, it sucks, but yeah, it's how they make their money. But it still sucks. They got buy comics, everybody.
Yeah. We're going to get on out of here, guys. Catch us in a week with Sandman 6. TM?
Yes.
All right. See y'all then. Thank you, everybody that hopped on.
Hi, everybody.
See you
That
later.
That was Book Club.
Biggie. Biggie.